What would it be like to do fashion blogging with your mother? Today, Karen and I on MidLife Besties are going to, let me get my little graphic up here so I can introduce you to Jodie Filigomo and her mother, Charlotte. We're going to be talking to them today about intergenerational living, about what they do together and their fashion escapades. Let me get Karen on and I will, let's see, here we go. Karen on. There we go. We're going to be talking to Jodie today about, so Jodie is a retired from the field of, hey,
Good morning.
retired from the, I was just talking about Jodie, retired from the field of cosmetic dentistry, and she had decided with her family to move to Arizona, and her mom went with them. So today we're going to bring them on and talk about their fashion escapades and how fun they are having doing that. So Karen, why don't you, while I get them on, why don't you introduce yourself and what's going on today?
You bet. So my name's Karen Lien, and I am a midlife makeup mentor. Suzanne and I collaborated with MidLife Besties because we found that we had so much in common, and we knew that there are other women that have the same interests on Instagram, and we are just loving being able to collaborate together. There's Jodie and Charlotte. Hi, gals.
Hey.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you both join us and talk about this because you two, we can just tell how much fun and joy you have together. So tell us a little bit about when you decided to kind of do this, living close by intergenerationally, and what made you decide it and when?
Well, back when we lived in Denver, and I decided when I retired and decided, hey, my husband said, why don't you start a blog? And I'm like, what's a blog? And so, I looked around and there were some women over 50 showing, but I thought, I don't want it to just, I want to be a little different. I want to be more inclusive. Mm-hmm. And so my mom lived back in Denver. My mom lived 10 minutes away?
Not even that, yeah.
And then my stepmom lived very close too, about the same. And so I'm pretty sure I asked them, but kind of like, no, we have to do this, we'll just do it together. And
asked for them.
Asked, twisted their arm. Yeah. I remember when my mom said, how long are we going to do this? I'm like, well, at least 10 years.
That's so fun. Such a fun thing y'all have going on. We're so delighted that you're with us today. Lots of people are joining us, and many of them may be followers of you, but if they're not, you can look up there and join or follow Jodie on her blog, her Instagram account, and as well you'll find the links in her account to all the places that she is, which we'll get to later. But Jodie, I think it's so fun that you and your mom do style posts and blogs together. So how did you all, you sort of twisted their arm, but how did you really decide to do this? Your husband suggested it and you just got started?
Yeah, and I thought, it's more fun to show the same kind of idea on more than one people. I know our society tends to be very youth-oriented, but when I was a dentist, some of my favorite patients were my older patients. They had so much experience, they had so much wisdom, and I would love it when they come in dressed nice. Yeah. And, it doesn't take a lot. Like I had this one lady, she'd just wear a scarf. Yeah. And, my mom is queen of scarves. And it got me more interested in older women, in our aging society. And because we're going to be that way too, unless you kick the bucket early, you're going to get older. And so why not have an inspiration for looking great, no matter what our age?
Charlotte, have you always loved fashion?
Yes, I was a home ec teacher, and when I retired from that, I worked in alterations, and I still have a picture of when she was 4 years old where I made this pink coat and cowboy hat. So she was dressed to the hilt from the time she was born.
My mom remembers the picture.
blog. Yeah.
My mom remembers pictures by what you're wearing. Not where you were or how old, but what you were wearing.
I love that.
When
Is
she
so great.
was a home ec teacher, it wasn't, I mean, about the food too, but it was about sewing. She loved sewing.
Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte, my mom's is a big seamstress, and she made my wedding dress, and she made all of our clothes when we were in grade school, junior high, even high school. We would go and look through the pattern books. So I just love that. I remember having those memories with my mom, going through the pattern books, picking out the pattern you wanted, picking out the fabric. So what a great thing. And do you think you influenced Jodie's style then? A little bit? A lot?
Yes, in fact, I always loved it when the pattern books are going out and you could bring it home and spend the whole evening going through.
Right, and then you can make me this. So how could I not be influenced, right?
Right. It's like a wish book, right?
Right.
Well, I also was a home ec major, and I learned to do tailoring and even made a wool coat, which, you know, don't really need that in the South much, but I did make a wool coat with all the layers and all that. So
that's impressive, because that's not easy.
No, in high school, I made, on the third year of home ec, I made a wool suit with the bound buttonholes. That was back in Indiana. So, yeah, it got a lot of use.
I bet.
For sure.
How fun. So yes, tell us a little bit more about what you have coming up. Like, how do you gals plan your blogs, you know, what you're going to wear? And I know you do it with another friend, right? There's 3 of you, and I love that.
3 of us. And a lot of times I get requests from readers, you know, how do I style this? Or I feel uncomfortable with this. So I always like to, you know, answer my readers, you know, in their struggles. When I can. Like, I've had this request, she brought it up just the beginning of summer about these jackets that she has and wants help with. And I'm like, that's going to have to wait until like October. But I always do that. And then, you know, I try to look at what kind of trends are coming up, that especially ones we might already have in our closet, because if you're anything like us, we don't always throw things out. And then we'll go shopping together, of course, and we're great enablers. I'll be like, oh, Mom, here, try this on. And she's like, oh, here, this would look cute. Let me adjust this for you. And so when we go shopping together, that'll give me ideas, especially if it's something I'll be like, oh, that's something that I think all of us could wear. And so let's all try to find something like that. Because I think it's very helpful to see the same thing or the same theme on, you know, not only are we 3 different ages, we're 3 different sizes, and we have different styles, you know, taste, right?
Sure. Taste.
So.
Well, you definitely have a gem right there, because she knows, I don't know if Charlotte still tailors, but she knows what to do. So that's half the battle, is when you find something you just really have to have, it might need a little alteration, right?
Well, that's really one of the secrets. Nowadays, you know, everything is mass produced, made to wear, but that doesn't mean it's going to fit your body. You know, and women get so upset that, oh, my body's not right for the clothes. That's not true.
It's
the clothes that aren't right for the body, and sometimes you can fix that and adjust that. That's definitely one thing I've learned from her. Even now, I asked her, I brought something to her. I'm like, okay, now I want to adjust this out. Now, how do I do this? Because she's just full of all kinds of information.
Charlotte, do you still do alterations?
Yes, for family and blog. When I worked in alterations, it was funny. One time, and we altered men's and women's clothes both. This man called, and he says, I got these pants and you shorten them and they're just too short. And I says, well, bring them in, we'll fix it. So he comes in, he tries them on, and they fit perfectly. And I says, you know, when a man finds something that doesn't fit, it's wrong with the clothes. When women find things that don't fit, we blame our bodies.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
It really is true, right?
Right. And so I'm trying to change that thinking. You know, on my blog, I try very hard to have us analyze these things more than what we were brought up with.
Yeah.
Well, and the other benefit of that is that you can make it your own. If you buy something off the rack, it doesn't have to look exactly like someone else wearing it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Adding trim, even just changing out the buttons is something very easy to do. I mean, I have learned so much in my blogging years about clothes that, you know, I would never have thought of, because I have time to research it or talk to my mom who has all this experience and wisdom. And, you know, you just get more creative if you have the time to think about those things.
Yeah. And Jodie, I know you and I share, you know, we're both really love to thrift. I love that as well, because, you know, you can find some of those classic pieces when you go thrifting, right? And I love how you share your thrifting, your love of thrifting. And I'm sure, Charlotte, you probably enjoy it as well. But then how you can alter. That's a great time to alter, right?
Right.
Well, in fact, when I first was learning to sew when I retired, because I wanted to be able to alter the things, I went to a thrift store because I didn't want to practice on good things, you know, so I bought some, you know, things that I'm like, well, if I mess up, it'll be fine. And so that was perfect. Plus, some of the things at the thrift store are really high quality, you know, the older quality pieces as opposed to mass-produced fast fashion. But we love shopping together, especially thrift shopping.
What would be a tip that you would give someone for thrift shopping to find those good fashionable pieces that are still, you know, have life in them?
Well, she keeps telling me, don't just look in your own size group, because a lot of times things are put in the wrong places. And like she even looks in the children's, but it just takes time. It's not like when you go in the department store and you see something on the mannequin. And of course, when it's a size 4, it is very beautiful. And the 14, it looks
just as beautiful. It's just as beautiful.
Yeah.
But the size thing, you know, a lot of the women around here love Chicos, right? And if you know Chicos, you know it's size different. The 1, 2, 3. And so I can't tell you how many times I find a 3 in the juniors, right? Because people putting them on the racks don't always know that's different. So I will find those and I'll be like, hey, Leslie, hey, Mom, you know, here's your size, better for you. But size is really, it's so subjective. You know, every brand is so different. And sometimes one of the things that, you know, I've tried to push on my mom too is you don't want every piece of your clothing to fit exactly the same. You know, sometimes you want something a little tighter, then you can layer over it better.
Or oversized.
And use it differently. So I think having variety, and that's where thrifting can help, because sometimes you don't know, will I like something a little bigger? Well, get it for a good deal. And then if you don't like it, you could even alter it. But, you know, it feels better.
And being petite, since I've shrunk, you can shorten and shorten the sleeves and so forth. And even along the way, I did the stretch and sew classes. And so they're a lot different to work with than what we started with. And when you thrift shop, it takes more time, but the rewards are sometimes much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
It really is.
I really think it's better to go with friends with shopping, and I know stylists across the board usually poo-poo that. But I really feel like we help each other kind of push out of our comfort zone a little and try new things. And I just think it's more fun that way. You know, sometimes people think shopping is a bore, but you know, when you go with friends, it's just much more fun.
It's more like a social event.
It's a social event.
To go thrifting now, so
Yeah.
We have some great stores around here.
or at least shopping. I mean, you know,
Right.
out there. See,
There's even one consignment shop here that'll only take the minimum of 17 garments that they bring in. And some of the things, they carry Chico and
She
La.
loves, yes.
gotcha. It's a favorite place to go. So tell us some of the things we can look forward to seeing from you ladies.
Okay, so what do I have coming up? We're actually going to take photos on Friday, and we're going to be talking about what to wear to a football game.
Okay.
And then we're going to do some, there's a friend coming out from St. Louis, and so she's going to join us on the blog, and she's much younger. But I like to prove style is ageless.
Yes.
And so we're going to be working with some fruit prints. You know what I mean? Like oranges or lemons on the pieces. And and then we're going to, of course, do pink for the fall because, you know, with October being Breast Cancer Month, you know, I like to be able to prove that pink is not just for spring and summer.
Right.
That's really a good one. So, because you get that ingrained that you can only wear a certain color certain times of the year. So that would be great. I'll look forward to that.
And then I've been excited because one of the bigger trends that I've been seeing more is that blazers. And I know, you know, as we've gotten older and retire, most people get rid of their blazers, and yet they can be worn casually, you know, so nicely. They just, you know, it's just basically a jacket. So wear it as a jacket. And so we're going to try that too.
And that, you know, for thrifting, that's the first place I go when I go thrifting. I go to the jackets because blazers are timeless. You know, even if they're a different style, I always go and look for blazers. So I love that. That's great.
And they've been, you know, I've seen shorter ones and the longer ones. So it's nice to have that variety now. Yes.
I like to find short ones because I'm a short-waisted person. So I love finding the ones with 3/4 length sleeves and, you know, shorter cuts. So, you know, but I know you can alter them, Miss Charlotte. So.
Well, you know what I love? And you've kept all of them, but even like the denim jackets, I've been seeing people just cut them off, you know, because that raw hem. And I'm like, that's just brilliant because sometimes you want it shorter. So, yeah.
For sure.
I love it.
Pretty good to get
At the thrift store, right? Especially in case, you know, it doesn't come out exactly the way you want it, but you could make it, then you could just add a different hem on. Right. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
That's true. Add some fringe if you need length, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as we close this out, I noticed someone asked for your info to, why don't you tell us a little bit about, although I know it's in your account, but why don't you tell us where people can find you? And then as we do end the video, of course, we're going to leave it on have it posted on our feeds, and then we'll tag you and people could find you that way as well. So we're not going to lose you, but do tell us for a minute where we can find you and what you have going on.
So my blog is Jodie's Touch of Style, and Jodie, you know, can be spelled so many ways. So it's J Touch of Style, just to make it easy. jtouchofstyle.com. Okay. And I always recommend sign up for the emails because that's where I share a lot of different things. I share more of my personal life in my emails. I share interesting articles that, you know, people have written, other people have written, because I like, you know, sharing. That's my thing. So that's where I do all that stuff in my emails. So I always recommend sign up for the emails. Plus, you get an ebook. I have a great one about accessories because we love our accessories.
We have a freebie too. So
it is a freebie. And you can wear accessories are not only ageless, they're sizeless. You can wear whatever. I love that about that and shoes.
We were talking about that actually on my blog post that went live today, this morning, is about wearing things that are old in our closet. And my friend Kathy joined us, and she's in her 40s now. She doesn't keep a lot of her clothes, at least right now, and I told about why. But accessories, you know, those accessories last forever, no matter what size you are. And, you know, some of them are trendy, but I think you can make anything look modern by your mixing and matching. So
yeah,
it's funny you say that about jewelry, because that's almost exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
that is funny.
And then on Facebook and Instagram, I am J Touch of Style. I'm also on TikTok a little. I just kind of started. And so.
Look at you. Okay.
Oh, fun.
Well, I started this interview by asking the question, could you imagine blogging with your mother? And now we have a great picture of what a great job you ladies do and how fun it is. So yes, there are plenty of people out there that could be incorporating that kind of thing into their fashion and having escapades just like you girls.
Yeah.
It's fun, and I think you learn a lot. You become more conscious of, you know, what you want to be as you get older and the possibilities, and it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
No.
Right.
You two are so much fun, and you're so lucky that you are so close to each other, physically, and, you know, just close to each other that you can do this. Boy, it makes me want to go call my mom. I wish she was closer. So that's great. Thank you, gals. Yeah.
Call your mama. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to posting this and getting it out to everyone. If you're late catching the live, it will be on replay, so you can catch it that way. And we even will have it on our YouTube channel. Yes. So we're working on that. So follow us over there. We love subscribers.
Yes.
And thank you again
for
joining us. MidLife Besties channel. Yep. Yes. So
excellent.
Any closing remarks, Karen?
No, literally, I'm going to go call my mom and we're going to chat. Yeah.
You talk every day, but
yeah.
but I see her on the internet every day.
She's a good supporter.
Good Monday, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Bye, gals. Thank you.
Bye.